Hello and welcome to the Creatively Geeky Show, episode number 14. I'm your host for the evening, Eugene Stevens. I kind of thought I had lost my mind as to what was going on here. Anyway, it's been that type of day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by our usual cast members, Chris and Ray. How are y'all doing?
Hello.
Very good.
Let's go ahead and move into our usual updates as to what we've been working on. Ray, you want to go first, or?
I'm gonna need a reminder.
Alrighty, hey, that's what I'm here for. So last time, okay, so here's the thing. You gave me one answer, and going back and listening to last month's episode, I picked up something else that you were supposed to be working on. So we will start with your answer, which was enjoy the month.
That I have done.
Excellent. Good to hear it.
Yes, I didn't touch anything creatively until today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, till today.
What was he supposed to be doing? That one's interesting.
What he was supposed to be working on was a picture box a photo box for you to take pictures of the stuff that you're making.
So that didn't happen.
Not even a little bit.
No, I did myself instead.
Yes.
Gotcha. Hey, you know what? That's the most important work right there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very honestly. Well, I mean, what did you just kind of like hang out, watch movies, or?
So there were some things that I did. I'm trying to remember back. Like this, it was a whirlwind. Like it was.
My car broke, so you were spending a lot of the month figuring that out.
Oh yeah, so I had to research a second car.
Yeah.
It was fun. So a lot of my time was spent on trying to figure out our car situation.
Mm-hmm.
We were going to replace the engine or get a different car.
Yeah.
So a lot of time went to that.
And then quickly you decided to take time off because wood prices are stupid. They are incredibly expensive, and there are things around the house that we want to get done.
So
a lot of
the
it requires
cheapest option right now for us to do anything was to take some of the old fence that we took down. And so what I've done is started to make a small fence that keeps wicket in into our yard. So it's just like a 2-foot tall fence.
That's fun.
So he might, if he's on top, like if he stands as tall as he can, he might be able to look over.
But he's too fat to make an effort to
He
get over.
will not be
so
able to
it's
get
fine.
over.
That's hilarious.
You check.
So I started making that. I've made one section of it. That's complete.
Yeah.
And then the second section I'm going to make after what we've chosen to do, which is our cheapest option to do any reno in the house right now, is to close up the bathroom on one side and open a door on the other side. So
okay.
Started today.
Yes. So that was all. That was decided within the last week and a half, 2 weeks.
About a week and a half. So
what made you decide to close the one door and open up a different one?
I hate that the kitchen is open to the bathroom.
The bathroom door opens up.
Yeah.
And when you look, all you see is the toilet.
I hate that.
I understand that.
So what we're doing is we're just moving the door so it opens up into the sunroom.
Because there was a window there that I hated as well. I hated having the window there because it opens up to the street.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, there's...
Somebody can see you come out of the shower. Somebody can see
it's just awkward.
like your silhouette, not
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Right, yeah.
So I've always hated that anyway. And then I was like, well, that's where the door's going. So...
Yeah. Also helps with the kitchen. So when we do the kitchen, we'll be able to use that wall.
Yeah. So
that the door was using up. So now put our fridge, and it'll be a better use of space for when we do the kitchen.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so that's like step one.
Yeah, so step one for the kitchen is getting this door moved. So we're like, okay, this is at least a step into a direction. Mm-hmm. And then it's something that we can move forward with. And I feel like I'm actually doing something productive.
Because the plan was for the living room and the dining room to have these big grand bookcases, but because that's all wood,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have to wait.
So the other thing that she suggested was getting IKEA cabinets that we could turn into the, and everything that we looked up on IKEA was not available because
we're in a lockdown still. We're in a lockdown till June 2nd.
Well, but even that, like, I guess, like, we couldn't get it delivered to the house because IKEA's, I don't know what's going on. Like, I guess they're back ordered on so much stuff, and
probably
everybody is buying all this. So
yeah, I mean, with all the lockdowns and stuff, everybody was stuck at home, and everybody started going, you know what? Maybe it's finally time I do something about this.
Yeah, which I don't blame anybody for.
Yeah, exactly.
Same thought pattern, right? We can't go anywhere, so we might as well just fix up where we are.
So, so I priced it all out, and just the wood alone would have been the same amount as the cabinets. So it was a wash. I'm like, okay, well, that's
like all the pre-made, all that stuff, bookcases. It's the same to buy the raw lumber for.
Yeah, oh my God, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's just pine. It's not like I was going to go after mahogany or cedar or anything like that. I was just trying to buy pine, and yeah, it was stupid. So I said, why don't we put that on hold?
Mm-hmm.
Until
at least the fall.
Until the fall, and then we'll pick something else.
Yeah.
And so the something else right now, I did have to buy a couple of 2x4s, which hurt. But the good news is when we lifted up the subfloor, underneath the subfloor is the original flooring, and so we're actually going to completely redo them and get them sealed in. So that'll be we just saved us some money.
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, we're not going to have to put a new floor in.
No, so we just have to restore them because it's 120-year-old wide plank original floor.
Wow.
Yeah, that they covered with a subfloor and self-leveling cement.
Yeah, there's some self-leveling cement, that I have to peel up.
That we have to dig up. Thankfully, we can chip away at it, and it's not
it's not like in there really bad.
No.
In one little section, it looks like what they were trying to do is level out the subfloor so that the shower would fit better. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was.
They did a really crappy job.
It was. It would have been easier, honestly, to sand the wood down and like with a floor sander and get it that way, and then put their subfloor down if they really wanted to. But anyway, it's doesn't matter. We're gonna have some kick-ass floors in there when it's all done.
Nice. Well, I have a ton of stuff, not just updates, but other stuff that's been going on or whatever. So, Chris, do you want to go first, and then? All right. You had getting your blankets on Etsy.
That.
Pictures.
Nope.
Redoing the kitchen.
Started.
And then I added one thing. Did you send the blanket to the hockey dude?
No, because somebody wants to do a picture and send it together.
I have the address to send it to.
Yes.
So that's okay. That took me a little while to get back from them, but I do have the address now, and I want to send a drawing or the watercolor painting for them as well, just to kind of because I've been listening to these guys for years and they're fantastic.
Nice.
I thought it'd be fun to have a little something from each of us, and one a fan and one just somebody that's sending them something anyway.
Through osmosis, I'm But what I did do though is make up little house cards. So like the rest of each house, and then on the back, like 4 words that describe the characteristics of each house. And then I wrote out a little blurb about the story behind the blankets, like the story behind them, and then signed it from the head of the Department of Domestic. The head of the Domestic Department of Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So I made up these little cards. I'll show you.
Nice.
But they're matte, so that
I'm
those ones are matte.
I'm gonna experiment, see if I can make them look like parchment, because I couldn't.
Okay.
Because I got them off of Vistaprint, and Vistaprint didn't offer
or anything like that.
So I'm gonna see if I can fudge it a little bit. But so I did do that. Ray helped a lot with that. And so those came in. So those are gonna go with each like a house card and one of those cards is going to go with each blanket. And
I also have a calligraphy pen that I think she could use to make some fun signing.
You do have a calligraphy. I forgot about that. Yeah. So I might just scribble like a pretend signature or something like that.
With her left hand, so that it looks like it's an elf.
Yeah.
So that happened. I did not take any pictures. I did look up a couple of videos. A couple of videos of lighting, like how to. Just a second.
Sorry.
ADHD's kicking in today. So I watched a couple of videos about how to take photos of products. So there's a couple of ways to do it. You could do it with a photo backdrop, which is just like big rolls of white paper that you can order on Etsy, Amazon, and then using photography lights. And if you don't have that, where to place it in a natural, like beside a window, and how to figure out where to do it that won't give you any shadows. So I did watch like 2 or 3 videos on that. And we figured out that a photo box would actually be too small. So I'm probably going to have to get like backdrop paper and
okay.
Which is totally fine. And my office is not a good spot to do that because it's in the basement and there's terrible, terrible, terrible lighting down there. So what were you going to say?
I was going to say, now I remember why I didn't build the photo box is because we did that research. But the sunroom would be a perfect spot to set something up where we...
When it's all cleaned up, because right now it's a mess.
Oh, it's a total disaster right now.
Driving me a disaster. But I know this is the storm before the calm.
Yeah.
Before it starts looking... everything's got to get ripped apart before...
Oh, yeah, and today was nothing but ripping apart.
It was all just reno stuff. But...
I went through 1, 2, 3, I think 4 different layers of wall.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Had a spell there where we thought maybe the plaster had asbestos in it. Turns out no.
It didn't.
It didn't. Good. It's just horsehair. Yes.
Yeah,
no joke.
And then I got into gardening the last couple of weeks. So I have dreams of these big, gorgeous Victorian English gardens. Like in my head, I already have it. But trying to execute it when you really don't know what you're doing is completely different. So I looked up plants for a tea garden because I want lots of pollinators and stuff in the garden. And so I did that. That was my Mother's Day present, was buying stuff for a tea garden and digging out hostas because I hate hostas.
She's given away pretty much every hosta we have.
I've done 3 and I've given them all away because I don't like them. They're really easy to take care of and I appreciate that they're there, but I don't like them. I don't like the way they look. I think they're ugly and they do nothing.
We had one of our neighbors, she was walking down the lane. I'm like,
she was walking down our driveway.
It's like, where's she going? So we walked out and she's like, hello? She's like, oh, I was just wondering about your hostas. Because Chris had put them out front in buckets.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just here at the end of the...
Take them.
Yeah, turns out her husband had killed all of hers the year before, so it worked out.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, so I got really into gardening the last 2 weeks. And
tell them what you have been creative about.
What have I been creative?
The tree. What's underneath the tree?
So we have a giant, gorgeous, beautiful maple tree out on the very far corner of our lot out front.
It has to be at least as old as this house.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's gorgeous. It's on its way out. It's dying. I think we've got at least 5 years left with it. I'm hoping. Depends in the next couple of years. No. Depends on how it winters, and we'll see. But right now it's beautiful. Shut up! Anyways, at the base of it, I decided last fall to plant some bulbs around it. And they came up. I'm like, these look really cool. This looks like a fairy garden. So I'm making a fairy garden.
Nice.
Giant maple tree. And Ray's going to make me, there's little chunks of bark that have fallen off. And there's a spot where he wants to like make some steps. I'm like, use the old bark. So
I'm going to clean up the bark. I'm going to try to see if I can make it steps. But I've also got, and I actually found it yesterday. Took all when I was making the fence, it took all of my effort not to make the door because I want to make a little fairy door and in a frame and everything, and then make part of the tree. So, I have the wood for that now. If there's a perfect piece, I'm like that's going to be awesome. So
that would be awesome.
Yeah, so I'm going to be making that. It's going to be subtle.
Yes, I don't want anything bright. I want it to match and blend in completely with the tree.
Yeah, so it's going to be subtle, and then I did want to do on the other side of the tree, not like facing away from the street. I wanted to do a different type that was a little bit more fun. That maybe pops a little bit more in color. We'll see. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that we talked about in the garden was at the back of my shed, it kind of like there's a bit of a hill that goes down.
Very, very.
Very subtle.
It's just a bit of a go down.
It's very subtle.
Hill is too big of a word.
Yeah, so there's a ramp.
A ramp. That's better.
It's a dirt ramp.
It's a dirt ramp with grass on it and dandelions. Yes.
Anyway, so I've talked to Chris, and she's agreed. So we're actually going to put a little circular door and make it all there. Nice. And we're going to make it look like a little hobbit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We're going for it. We're going for it. Why not? And so that's what I've really gotten into. And I'm going to the garden center again on Friday with my neighbor.
Yeah. Cool. And then I've also looked into how to put a little smoke machine in there so that I can have smoke coming out of a chimney inside. Nice. Because why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not? I was going to say, so if when the tree dies, like, you could just have it cut down to a, decent sized stump and just leave that there. And then it would be, like, this is a cool thing instead of just, it's just a stump. So that's actually a really good idea.
Yeah, when it comes time to take it down, we're going to make it a decent stump and just leave it, and then plant probably the tree that you want on the other corner of the property.
London plane,
which is a London plane, which are these gorgeous sycamore hybrid trees that are all in London, England. Mm-hmm. And they are all planted because the specific type of tree is really good at handling pollution. Mm-hmm. So they're everywhere, and they're massive and they're gorgeous.
And what I love about them is, so the leaf almost looks like a maple leaf, but not quite. It's a lot. But anyway, the trunks are, when they get huge, some of the bark starts peeling away, and when it does, it looks like somebody's just painted yellow underneath it, and so you get these strips of yellow paint almost is what it looks like, and it's really cool.
And they're all over our town too.
There's a few of them around our town.
Yeah. So that's what's going to go there when the maple tree goes. Yeah. But the maple tree is massive, and it covers all of our front yard. It's just, I hug it a lot.
It's going to be sad to see that thing go.
I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry when that tree.
Our neighbor, like, as you come into our neighborhood, just cut down, like, today, because I didn't notice it. I didn't notice it this morning when I was leaving this morning. Cut down this big tree in the front of the yard, and I'm just, why did y'all cut it down? It was a good looking tree.
Yeah, I get frustrated with stuff like that. Like our neighbor, he had to cut down a tree, but it was dead.
I was afraid of this thing coming down on.
And it wouldn't have because it wasn't rotted in the middle, but you didn't know by looking at it.
Right.
So the limbs were dry.
Yeah.
So a good storm would have taken down some limbs, but the core was still like it was
fine. Something had gotten in between the bark and the wood, and it starved it. Basically to death. That's what happened to the tree. Because the middle of the tree was fine. It wasn't even rotten. But it was a walnut tree. No, oak tree. It was an oak tree.
It was an oak tree.
So I want an oak tree in the back of our property because it, makes nuts and has berries and the birds love it. And there's this type of tree, oak tree called a burl oak, and it actually looks all gnarly and knotty and stuff like that. So I thought that would be a pretty cool kind of gothic tree to have in our Victorian Gothic house.
I'm gonna find a linen plane and send it to you, so you can see it because it's
okay. Well, cool.
All right, you're up. Your turn.
All right. I was gonna say we have 3 ashes and they are just now starting to do stuff. The cold weather we had here just But everyone else is in the same boat. Everyone else that has an Ash is like, yeah, it's barely coming out. I'm like, yeah, apparently they're pretty temperamental. So, whereas my Bradford pear is like full out. Like it's like it doesn't give it's like honey badger. It doesn't give a shit. It just does what it wants to do. So, okay. So the first thing that was on my list are headlights. So since the last time we did this episode, I was hoping it wasn't going to take that long to do the headlights, and it actually didn't. So I managed to get, I followed the instructions that I found online, and I managed to get the front grille off, and I got the headlight thing off, and I went to go change the light with a bulb that said that it was rated for it, and it wouldn't fit. So I was of course upset and I was frustrated. So I'm going through Amazon, and apparently at some point when I was trying to order these things, it had switched. Like in Amazon, you can go in there and put what your vehicle make and model is, and it will tell you does this part fit or not. And it does not fit my car, but it did fit Christie's. So I'm just like, well, shit. So I held on to it, and I was like, all right, well, I found, double checked. Yes, this bulb size fits my car. So I'm like, all right, I'll order it, put my car back together. I'll order it when it comes, and I'll take care of it. And then the new bulb comes in, and I take my car apart again, and I go to put the bulb in there. And technically, while it might fit, because of the type of bulb that my car has, I can't use it. I have to either replace it with the xenon bulb, or I have to completely replace the whole headlight assembly. And I'm just like, yeah, $400, I'm not doing that just so I can have LED bulbs. I did find where I can buy the xenon bulbs that are the brighter white so that it would match everything else. And I'm just like, all right, fine. I'll get back around to this later. Instead, I did order the remaining lights that I needed for Christie's car. So the ones that I had bought, I think, were the brights. She actually has separate bulbs for bright and the normal running, and then the fog. And I got all 6 of those bulbs changed out on her car in like 30 minutes. Because it was literally like just reach in, twist, pull out. Yeah. So that was a little frustrating, but her car looks much better now with actual bright white lights on it. So that's actually kind of been put aside. Like I know I can do it. I know what I need to buy to do it. I'm just kind of like, you know what, it's going to be third time's a charm, but I'm kind of pushing this off at this point. In other news, I ordered the roof rack for my car and was going to try to get it installed. I went and picked it up earlier this week, and I understand the rail itself runs the entire length of the car. So I know it's going to be long, and I know it's going to, I was going to have to it's going to be sitting here in between, the headrest or whatever as I'm driving home or what. I was expecting that, but the box was huge. And the guy's like, it's kind of beat up. I'm like, well, I can't get this in the car. So we took out the things, and I go to put them on my car, and I'm looking, and they are supposed to have a slight angle at the front where they go down towards the windshield, and they are bent to hell. And so I took them back in. The guy's like, all right, I'm going to order you a new set. Hopefully they'll be in. They were supposed to be in today, but I didn't hear anything. So I'm trying to currently work on that project so I can get that swapped out. Yeah. Let's see here. Trophy. So I got it taped off.
Okay.
And technically I got it painted.
Nice.
It is a good gold color, and it did use my airbrush.
Yeah.
But apparently this gold paint, because it has metal flakes in it, is very temperamental. So like it's got some issues on it. You can kind of see that there, and see it kind of dripped down here at the bottom. So I need to put at least another coat or 2 on it, and just do very light, and I'm trying to figure out how to turn down the pressure, and I'm going to do it from further away, so it's going to be a lot more. But I've at least got a base coat on it. So I've got to start on that. I'm kind of in a time crunch, though, because I need to get that done before Geeks Weekend, and that's coming up here pretty quick. The reason I haven't got it done is what we're going to talk about as the main topic here in just a minute. Catan wise, I got the thing out and I got the pieces painted, so now they're more of a chocolate brown. They won't mix it, they'll be easy to see. Looks great. Got that taken care of. The Blender course, haven't started it yet because I've been working on other projects. So I kind of depends. I may try to start on that here in the next day or so. I did get some other things done. So I did manage to get the Ghostbuster stuff that I talked about, the newspaper articles that I had purchased. I got those hung. I'm looking at them right now. They're in my office. So I got that part done. I've been working on the pool, and once again, going back to our main topic here in a second, that's also been a long, ongoing process. The two other things that I did work on is while I was doing all this other stuff, I knew my work was going to get really crazy here in the next couple of weeks. So I finally broke down and took my proton pack into work, and I knew I had to add a second battery to it in order for the smoke machine on it to not lock up and do the stuff it was doing. So I was trying to figure out, well, maybe I can add a vibrating motor to it, so while it's firing, it'll vibrate. And I figured out the code, and I got it uploaded, and it was working, but every time I would hit the fire button, the vibrator would kick in, but the lights and the sound would freeze up, and then I'd let go of the fire button, and the vibrator would stop, and everything else would kick in. And I'm just like, okay, I'm using a relay, and it's two separate powers, and literally the high that it gets from the Arduino to tell it, connect the circuit, it's just acting as a switch. I'm like, why is this acting like it's either pulling too much power or causing feedback? And so I posted to the one good thing Facebook is still good for.
Yeah.
One of the groups that I'm part of, or several groups that I'm part of, about building proton packs and Ghostbusters, stuff or whatever. I asked, I'm like, hey, I'm having this problem. Does anyone, is this something? What am I missing? And luckily, this guy wrote back. He said it looks like what's happening is because, of course, I know just enough electronics to be dangerous. He's like, it's probably using a DC motor. So while it's spinning up, it's actually generating power itself, and it's feeding back through. He's like, if you put a diode in there, it should cause it to not do that. So at first, and he's like, just use an LED. Because I even asked him, like, well, do you have an idea for range or whatever? He's like, hell, just try an LED to see if it works. Sure enough, it does. The problem is, though, is there was enough resistance in the LED that while it was firing, the vibrator was only going so far. And I'm just like, okay. So I tried some other diodes I had, and they either worked or they weren't working. And it came down to, yes, this would technically work, but do I really want to go through all of this process and like pulling apart the wand part and running all these cables and stuff so that when you hit the fire button, it just kind of barely does something? And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And I did think about it. I was like, I could just do this mechanically. I don't know. I don't think the button that I'm using for the fire button has this, but I could have swapped out the button to be what's called a double pull, double throw switch, so that it basically, when you hit it, you can basically tell two separate circuits do your thing. And so I was like, I could just mechanically hook it up so that it's literally just a battery and it's doing this. But once again, I was like, it's fine. I've got the damn thing to smoke and do everything else that I want to do. The next one, I'll keep that in mind. Because I'm sure there will be another one down the line. Anyway, so I got that taken care of, and then I went ahead and I weathered it. I really like how it turned out. Seeing it in broad daylight, though, I think maybe I've got too much brown wash on it. I might need to take wet paper towel and get a little bit off, get a little more of it off. But it definitely looks like it's been through hell now, so I'm just like, excellent. It looks like real equipment, which is still funny to me because I want to weather my equipment so that it looks like it's actual used stuff. But in the real world, I would never let my stuff get that dirty. Or if it was, I would clean it off. Like it's a story, as all the prop makers I know, you're telling a story with the weathering. And I'm like, yeah, the story is this was real equipment and it's been used and everything else, but it's not my equipment because I would have repainted it or cleaned it or something. let's see. Yeah, so that's the stuff that I had or whatever. So a couple of the things that I talked about that I have not been able to get to, or I'm having trouble get to, is kind of the thing that I threw out as our kind of topic for tonight, and that is the weather. Um, Texas has like 2 months. Well, we have all four. We have all four seasons. We've got like 2 months or 2 weeks of fall, 2 weeks of spring. 90% of it's summer. We get like, a week and a half of winter, and that's about it. Well, because of all of this, like this time of year, this in the fall, it is all over the place. And it has been, even though they keep telling us that we're still technically within a drought condition, it has been raining so much here the last several weeks. I haven't been able to get anything done, to include trying to finish the pool. So that's kind of always sitting in the back of my head. Like, we bought a pool and had it installed last year, and I'm like, not that it's been warm enough. It really hasn't been that warm here yet, which is also very strange. But it's just like, yeah, I'd kind of like to use the pool, or kind of would like to at least get that project done so I can check that off the list and go on. But like trying to go ahead and start painting on, putting another coat on this trophy. I literally haven't been able to do it because almost every night the humidity's been so high. I'm like, if I go out there, or the wind has been kind of high, I'm like, if I go out there and try to spray paint, I'm either going to get it everywhere, or B, it's never going to dry. So yeah, just this goes back to the whole thing about I really need a shop so that I can work indoors and not have to worry about it. But yeah, so the weather just does not want to cooperate sometimes with your creativity, doesn't it?
Yep. And I lived it when we did the renos for 6 years
in the cottage.
Because we would have to try and start. So wintertime is a no-go for me.
No.
Like, especially out. So even my current shop, there are certain things that I can't do out there. I might be able to do a couple of quick cuts on for wood or whatever, but I'm not going to be out there in minus 20. So I don't know. It'd be almost 0 Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be out there, cutting and sanding and tinkering, and I might do a quick cut here and there, but then I'm back inside, and that's where I'll bring tools in if I have.
Yes.
Which makes more of a mess, and even but there were days that we did, like I had a tent city made up so that I could at least work in the rain and cut and stuff in the rain. I'm very thankful that the shop that I have now will allow me to do that in the rain, without having to worry about anything. There are days where I want to get stuff done outside. I can't because it's raining, or but
It's too cold.
Or it gets too cold, or humidity is another factor for sure. What I will say though is there are days where it's snowing and we can't do anything or go anywhere. So I'll pull out the paint and I'll do a painting, or I'll do something else creative instead. So
yeah,
the weather definitely affects what you can and what you are willing to do.
Yeah, for me it's like a physical thing. I get sinus headaches, and a lot of it is based on like the barometric pressure outside. So if the pressure is doing a real big swing one way or the other, I'm just down. I'm not doing anything for the whole entire day, probably that night, maybe into the next day. It's not a migraine, but it's just like, it's enough of a headache where you need to go have a nap. And
gotcha.
Is soup. So I can't do anything on those days. And in the wintertime, I really like crocheting. I really like knitting and crocheting because it's cozy and it
keeps you warm.
It keeps me busy because I, can't go outside sometimes because it's a blizzard or it's just too cold. But when it's moody or raining, I don't want to be outside. I want to be inside doing stuff. But I also don't like it when I sound like such a brat. I don't like it when it's too hot either. I don't do well in the heat. I will wilt. And I don't like being outside when it's too hot and too humid. Like anything over 28 degrees Celsius, I don't know how you survive down there is basically what I'm trying to say. Handle it. I get too hot. Global warming is never, I'm not going to survive well with this climate change happening because it gets too hot for me and I can't do anything. Thankfully, we have a very shaded yard most of the time throughout the day, but yeah, outdoor activity like gardening wouldn't happen in the middle of summer.
We'll say this. So it's 83 degrees Fahrenheit, but with 100% humidity.
Yes.
So it'll feel closer.
Yeah.
And
it's gross. I don't want to go outside and immediately start sweating. And then it just makes you grumpy, and then you don't want to do anything. But when you get those.
Oh, listen. When we came down to visit you, I understood why you always left. You told us bring a jacket because you're leaving the house. You don't need the jacket. It's when you get into the mall or into whatever. That's when you need the jacket because it feels cold.
Yeah.
Made sense to me now.
Yeah, because it's cold. But definitely the weather affects everything. It affects my mood. It affects my physical well-being. It affects everything. So to say that the weather affects my creativity, it just it goes hand in hand for me. Yeah, for sure. It plays a big, big part on everything for me.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I mean, some days, like if it's raining or if it is super hot or super cold, it's like, okay, well, I obviously can't do anything outside. I can now work on this, whatever it is, inside. Mm-hmm. It just always seems to be that there's at least one element that I need to do outside. So like something else that I've had happening, not only has it just been raining, really bad, even if the rain clears off and it's not windy or anything, we had some additional grass added to the backyard, right up close to the porch, and because it's now a little higher than the porch is, we're having flooding on the back porch. And I'm just like, well, I'm definitely not going to pull out an extension cord and something electrical and go try to paint something at the aluminum table. And so, that's a no-go. But yeah, it's like it has just reminded me a lot this last week and a half that it's like we have absolutely got to move at some point so I can have a shop because I had even thought, I was like, well, I could pull my car out and I could set up a table in the garage and I could try to do some stuff out there, but I'm just like, and then I'm going to have to take it all back down so I can get the car back in at the end of it. I'm just like, no, never mind. I'll do something else. Yeah. It's just, it's hard. And yeah.
Well, that's why I'm so thankful that we have this shop because we never even considered it to be a garage.
No, never going to the garage. Never.
It's too, you could technically fit one of the cars in there, but that would be it.
Yeah,
you wouldn't be able to anything else in there, and that's pointless to me. So I'd rather have a shop where we can actually store stuff as well as my tools and.
It was more for when we were looking for a house, it was where does it have a detached garage, detached whatever? Yeah. Can it be made into a shop? And what kind of shop would it be? So.
Because we even considered a couple of places that had an unfinished basement that was like, well, if we did this or that, I could turn this into a shop. One place was in a small city north of us. We fell in love with the place. And when we toured it, we got down to the basement. I'm like, yeah, no, this could work because it was fully insulated and ready to go. I'm like, I can make this a shop. Let's do it. And yeah, that place had already sold. So.
Yeah. Did the day
that we took a look or whatever.
Yeah, the day before we took a look. Anyways.
But yeah, and there was another building that we were looking at. It was an old commercial building that we were looking at. And there was no garage at all, and there was only parking spaces. So we went down to the basement, and it would have taken a lot of work, but we could have turned that into a workspace as well. Yeah. So yeah, there's something to be said about dedicated workspace.
Yes.
Yeah. So when the weather is crap and you can't be outside,
still do stuff.
You can still do things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'd worked 6 years without a shop.
Oh yeah, we called it reno season. So right around November, reno season stopped.
Yeah.
And it was
after Halloween.
Yeah, after Halloween,
Yep.
we're done.
And then it would start if it was a nice March, we could start in March. Typically, it was April and into May.
Yeah.
And I remember it was the last year that we lived there. It was our last spring before we sold. We had to do some stuff around the place and get it done, and it was like, it is still cold. Like, it was still snowing at night. Mm-hmm. And I had to open up one of the exterior walls in order to do something. And like, I had the fire roaring, we had everything cranked up, and it was still frigid in that house until I got the wall closed back in. Yeah. But it took me the day to do it, but I did it.
You did it. You were
well, I got to do this, or it's not going to get done. So.
Yeah. But that's the crappy thing is like, and that's the other thing too about much like where you are waiting for the weather to get nice, and you keep waiting and you keep waiting and you keep waiting, and the weather's not getting any better, and you get more disgruntled about the weather because it's waiting for it to warm up enough to want to do any of this stuff. And we have we lovingly call smarch weather.
Yes.
Where March and April fuck around with you.
Mm-hmm.
They'll tease you.
Oh, like it's like fake. It's called pretend spring too.
Yeah.
Like it's pretend spring for the weekend or for like a week, and then it snows or it's cold. You wake up, there's frost because it'll do that for 2 months, and then
last week we had frost warnings every night.
Yeah, we had frost warnings every night.
And today we're sitting in here. I got the AC going.
Yeah. So now we're into the season where it's going to be consistently warm now, probably until September.
Yes.
Yeah. And then September it starts cooling down at night again, and then that's when. So.
We've been in another part of Ontario in September where it's supposed to be still nice out, and actually thank God we were in a trailer because we were in Ottawa doing the.
Oh my God, that's a really long time.
I know, but it was in September, and
it was the end of September though.
Right, but anyway, it was like 3 degrees
at night. We froze.
So it was almost outside.
Yeah. I did not sleep that night. We packed the wrong sleeping bags. We had our summer sleeping bags. It was freezing.
It was supposed to be warm, and it was
not. Oh man, yeah. Like the boys, like they were supposed to have their first baseball game earlier this week. Didn't happen. Too much rain on the field and stuff, and they're supposed to have their second one. What would have been their second game tomorrow night, but the fields have been closed all day today, and we have like a 50% chance of rain tomorrow, so that's probably not happening either. And then this weekend it's supposed to rain, so I can't move forward with the pool, and just it's like I said, it's just one thing after another, and yes, there are some other things I could do, but there are nights that I've come home and I'm just like, all right, I've got a little bit of energy. When the boys go down, I'll go, well, never mind, there's still water standing in the back porch. So, yeah. It sucks. It drains your creative energy too. You're just like, well, if I can't do this and I don't really want to do this, just screw it. I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Yep. What's on the TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does. It totally zaps your creativity, especially because you were looking forward to it and you get the energy specific for that task. And then all of a sudden you can't do that task. It's like all the energy just leaves your body.
Yep.
And that's all gone for nothing. Yeah. I get really annoyed if we've got something planned and suddenly Mother Nature's like, fuck you. Headache, or it just rains when it's not supposed to rain, or it's colder than what it's supposed to be, because he'll take time. The other thing too is planning it, because he takes time off, and it's sort of depending on what the work is. When we were in the cottage, it was all weather based, so it was okay, these next couple of weeks are supposed to be nice, I'm going to try and take some time off. Or you're just throwing it against the wall and hoping like hell that it's going to be nice, because he had to book so far in advance to get the time. So
I'm thankful that my work's pretty flexible with me, so so that's pretty good. But
you had that 1 year where you had to get all
had to get it
in February. You had to get all of your time off in for the rest of the year.
Yeah, they want it all in February. I was like, I have no idea. I'm throwing darts. Like it's.
Yeah.
I think maybe here. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, and then you just have to do it because this time is fine. You have to kind of fucking suck it up and do it, and it sucks.
Yeah.
And it's not fun, and then it becomes a project you don't want to do, and it's yeah. That's the other crappy thing too. Is like when you have to do it anyway, and the weather's shit.
Oh yeah, there were times where I was absolutely soaked, right? Like I remember, was it when I was? I had asked. I think it was Campbell with me doing the shed, and it was just pouring rain on us. This was in Port Elgin.
Oh.
So we had a shed kit delivered to the house, and we had to build it. And he took I think he took a day off, and there I was as well with a day off, and it was just pissing rain. I was like, oh. So we had our raincoats on, and we're putting this thing together, and we were happy when the roof went on finally, because it meant that we were out of the rain.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the weekend was fine, but that first day of trying to get together was just shit. So, yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, like something else I need to go clean out my gutters, but it's like, well, obviously I want to wait until they dry out completely, but by the time they can, because it'll be easiest to get the stuff out, can use like, the blower or something to help me with it, but by the time it does that, it's going to be freaking hot. I'm not going to want to be on the ladder up doing that shit, but
aluminum or like whatever you're yeah.
So yeah.
Well, your roof coming off of it too, right? Like it's
yeah. So yeah, it's just I hate it whenever it won't let you do what you want to do, and then like you said, when you have to do it, then it becomes all that energy that you might have had for wanting to do it just becomes, no, I've just got to get this done at this point. So yeah. Well, let's move on to our things that we're hoping to get done for next time. Our goals for next time. Would anyone like to go first?
Me, I guess. You're looking at me?
Yes.
All right, Chris. What are you hoping to get done maybe for next time?
I want to have at least another blanket done. Get the nerve to put it on out there in social media. I'm still working on that mental thing. And then have like the bathroom's going to be a slow burn. There are certain things that have to get done right now, but the little things are going to be slow burn. I would like to figure out sink situation because I keep going back and forth on that, and then
it's hard for me to set up a sink that we don't have.
Really, I have a picture of a room, and I'm like, okay, let's just replicate this. So I don't have one. Well, it's such an odd shape of what we're working with.
And then the other thing too is right now is we can't go to stores.
We can't go to anywhere.
Just look at what we want.
Right.
Because everything's still curbside pickup only.
Bathroom vanities, did not know this because he custom built our last one, are fucking expensive. Had no clue. I'm looking on Wayfair. I'm like, why is this $1,000? It's a bathroom vanity. I don't get it. They're expensive. So expensive. Yep. So that's a downer.
So I may be making another one. But it might be the same price.
I was going to say, depending on how much the wood is, I mean.
So I don't know. I have to keep. But the thing is that we have a really great restore here, and I can't go to it because it's shut down. I can't go to it for another week and a half, I think.
I think we'll find something there.
Yeah, because it's actually a really, really good one. But I would like to have at least those parts of the bathroom picked, like the sink and the mirror, maybe some sconces. I'm toying around with getting a not wallpaper, but it's self-adhesive kind of wall mural. That's kind of pricey though, so that might be a no. Beautiful.
I said to her, just give me the picture, I'll paint it. And it was
like, no. They're Dutch flowers. Oh, anyways, it's gorgeous. And so I might get it. I don't know. It's huge though, because our ceilings are 9 feet tall, so we'll see.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be like way out of our price range. So to have little things picked out at the very least, or have a working idea of what I want. Thank God we have another bathroom. Oh my goodness.
By the end of this weekend, that bathroom is still going to be usable.
Yes.
So the toilet will still work and the shower will work. That's what I'm hoping for.
Yes. We have to
if I have to have a bucket with a hose for you to wash your hands, I'll do it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would like to have that done. It's just it is frustrating being in another lockdown trying to do this stuff, and you can't. Because a lot of it is sight, right? Like you know what it looks like, and you can check the drawers and the cupboards or whatever, and see if you even think it would work in your space. And not being able to do that, it sucks.
All I wanted was hinges.
Yeah.
I wanted hinges for the door. I've tried to order them through them on their website and curbside pickup.
Yeah.
But they keep going, well, we can't find those ones, and we can order them for you. It's like, can I just go into this? I know where they are. I know where they are. Just let me go. And I'll pick my 2 out, and I'm done.
Yeah.
But no, can't do that. So.
No, we can't do that. Yeah, it's frustrating for stuff like that. Like, we can't go anywhere, so the next thing is start tinkering with your house, except when you need that one thing at the last minute, you're like, oh crap, I need this, and you have to go run to the store. You're like, what? You can't, because that store you're not allowed to go inside. Yeah. You're going to do curbside pickup.
So I needed a new
chisel.
A new chisel today, and the specific one that I was looking for, and I saw they had this package online that comes in a 3-pack. I'm like, cool, okay. So I called the store. They were busy. Called the store. It was busy again. Called another store, and they picked up. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm just looking for some chisels, and this is what I'm looking for. Oh, well, we don't have that one, but we can do this for you and put these 3 together. I'm like, sure, whatever. I need the fucking chisels. Let's go. When can I pick it up? Yeah, no, we can do it right away. So then I get to the store, and I'm standing outside in a line to pay for my purchases that I've picked up. Like, I get why we're doing it, but it's like, oh, enough already.
Yeah, after a year of this, it's getting tedious.
Yeah.
So.
So soon, though. Soon.
Yes, very soon.
Ray, do you want to go next?
Yeah. So, part of it was getting that bathroom to at least usable state by the end of the weekend. So that'll be. I'll have to send you a picture of the floors when they're redone too. Hopefully they turn.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What else? So that's going to be a big chunk.
That's going to take up the rest of the month.
Probably.
Yeah. Let's be honest.
I'm just trying to think if oh, you know what? There's one more thing. I want to have the fairy door created.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So work on bathroom, fairy door created. Got it. I have to get this trophy done within the next several weeks because it's for, like I said, Geeks Weekend. So it's literally just going to be, even if I have to do it in an evening after work, I'm just going to have to be like, all right, well, it's dry enough. Let's get out there and do it. I'm hoping to get the pool opened up. That's going to just, I mean, even when I do get the pool taken care of, because the biggest problem with it is like, so we took out the stairs that were inside the pool. So that we, when we put the cover on it over, when it was cold, that it would be, it'd be fine. And in order to put it back in the pool, I need to use my pressure washer and wash it off really good before I put it back in there. Well, I can't hardly run the pressure washer right now because all the water will just collect on my freaking porch. And yeah, so it's like I need a couple of good dry days that things will dry out a little bit, and then I can use the pressure washer, and then I can put it in there. Then we've got to vacuum it out again, and I'm just hoping. But even then, even if we get everything taken care of, the water is still not warm enough to swim in. It's still pretty chilly, and it's like, just, and I cannot believe I'm saying this, being me, but I'm just like, when is it going to fucking get hot? Like, I'm ready. I'm ready for it to get hot. I've got a pool. I've wanted one for years. I finally have one. And now global warming is like, well, let's hold off a bit. No, motherfucker, get hot. And then the other thing I had put on there is, since I am playing around with the airbrush, in fact, it's sitting right here next to me. Like, it's like it's out. I need to use it. I think I'm going to put it on my to-do list to try to get done next month. Either A, get Baby Yoda done, so he's not gray, or B, look into that program I was telling you about to get a really good 3D head scan and try to work on the Eugene action figure. So one or the other, not both. I know both of those things are not going to happen. So I'm shooting for one or the other. And if I keep having problems with the rain and the moisture and stuff, and I can't use the airbrush that much, it may default to Eugene action figure. So we'll see. So anyway, that is our show for the month, ladies and gentlemen. If you would please give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, Google, Stitcher, wherever it is you listen or watch the show. You can also check out our other shows, the Epically Geeky Show, the Marginally Geeky Show, and Sustainably Geeky. You can find them all at epicallygeeky.com, where you can also go to any of the social media and find us posting there from time to time at Epically Geeky on any one of those, Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. Where can we find you online, Ray?
Reluctant Yeti on Instagram. Again, I don't tweet very often because it's accessible.
Yes, it is. Chris, where can we find you online?
All the shows you mentioned, and on Instagram at Rose and Hummingbird.
And you can follow my individual wacky adventure online at Optimus Gene on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. For everyone on the site, have a good night.